What's up gamers, today we're going to be talking about the different kinds of builds you can run and have success with on Beebo. I want to mention that a lot of these items are interchangeable depending on what you enjoy playing with the most or which items you have upgraded in the armory. I will also be covering each item category one at a time, so stick around until the end if you want to know what the best perks on Beebo are. With those being the only caveats, let's get into it. First up, I want to talk about grips. In my mind, there are 4 grips that really fit Beebo, and those are Greenwood Grasp, Rabbit Paw, Burning Palm, and Chrono Gauge. Greenwood Grasp is great in the early game because 100 extra mana goes a long way and the scaling health can be super nice come late game. I would say that this is a great training wheels grip if you're just learning Beebo, as his melee playstyle and steep mana costs can be very unforgiving. Another great option for utility is Rabbit Paw because of the sheer amount of mobility it offers. In MOBAs, movement speed is one of the most important stats and it is often operating behind the scenes of many amazing outplays. Rabbit Paw offers that and then some, granting 3 amazing movement-based effects in one item. Keep in mind, these are desirable stats that are hard to obtain. Next up, we have the 2 combat-focused grips, which can be very effective, but I only recommend them if you are comfortable on Beebo and competent in your fighting ability. With that being said, the Burning Palm is an incredible item. This effect is so easy to apply with your slingshot and really adds up over the course of a fight. I wasn't running it initially and struggled on Beebo to finish off kills even when landing my full combo on opponents, but with Burning Palm, that is no longer an issue. The extra kill range is nice and it combos well with a perk we'll talk about later. Lastly, we have Chrono Gauge. Now this one is a little bit more niche, but I'm gonna put it plainly for you. If you like playing around your abilities, this is a great grip for you. The base ability haste is super nice and the effect it has on ability hit just makes it that much better. You can machine gun with your slingshot while keeping your bomb and ult cooldowns low. The only thing is you need some serious mana fixers. Thankfully, there are a few ways to do that. But first I want to talk about kicks real quick. For kicks, there are really only 2 options: rocket high tops and face riders. This decision is simple. Do you want shorter dashes at a higher frequency or longer dashes at a lower frequency? For me, I find Beebo's normal dash to be enough to reposition when dodging or trying to knock bombs or enemies a certain direction. The longer dash can sometimes overdo it, so I prefer face riders. However, rocket high tops are great if you like dashing at people to try and bat them into a wall. Now let's get into the good stuff. Relics are where skill expression really begins to shine in Supervive. There are a plethora of great options that leave us wishing we could just use more than 2. But since that is the main drawback, let's talk about which ones synergize well together. First up, let's address the elephant in the room. Grabby the Squid is insanely good on Beebo. Not only does it unlock incredible playmaking potential on him by grappling enemies or walls, but you can use it on your bomb to traverse over long distances or even jump over walls. Now you may think that batting the bomb and then grappling it is the best way to do this, but I've actually found a much easier and more consistent way to accomplish the same thing. Instead of charging your bat, which will often hit your bomb out of range of your grapple, try just throwing it max distance and then grappling it. You'll find that you still go pretty far. But if you jump before you grapple, suddenly you'll find yourself flying. You can even glider out of this if you really want to milk the distance. Like I said earlier, you can also do the same trick to get over walls and scratch the skybox with Z-axis plays like you would have using a jump pad. Now I don't want to spend too much time on this item, I just wanted to share what I've found works best for me and that the skill expression for this item is off the charts. A couple relics that I've found work really well with Grabby are Essence Reaper, Thunderbolt, and even Battle Gum if you want to get real freaky. Each of these items caters to a different playstyle, depending on what you like. And they all have a cooldown so that the perk Relic Accelerator gets a lot of value here, since more grabby means more fun. For kicks and grips, take your pick of the litter here. Next up, let's talk about balling on a budget. Everybody knows that not all relics are created equal, and that some are more expensive than others. However, that doesn't mean that the cheaper ones are worse for wear. In fact, I actually think a lot of the legendary relics are overrated. If you saw my last Beebo guide about his pros and cons, you'll know that I touched on tempo in Supervive, and spending less gold on your full build is a way to gain tempo on a team that is still saving up. So a cheap build can sometimes be the play, and in this case, I think it oftentimes is, because the Rampager Ultimate Diadem build is absolutely nuts. For starters, you get both your relics for 1500 gold, so you'll likely have enough for your basic items too, and maybe even some perks to complement your build. With these relics, you're getting damage ramp, powerful mana fixing, and lower cooldowns. For grips, go Chrono Gauge with Burning Palm. This will help lower your ability cooldowns even further, pack an extra punch with those abilities, and ult more frequently. Here's where Ultimate Diadem comes in. First off, you'll only want to use this build if you have 2 stars on Ultimate Diadem. And secondly, the way it reads is a little bit confusing. Infinite mana seems great initially, but it only lasts for 3.5 seconds. So how do you best utilize it in that short of a period? The answer is you don't. You see, when you use your ult, you get infinite mana, which fills your mana bar to full, and you most likely get a free bomb too, which is nice, but the best part is, your mana bar stays full after ulting. So your ult is effectively a way to completely reset your mana, which is amazing, and I didn't know that, so I'm super excited about it, and hopefully you are too. But you may be thinking, why Rampager? Well, in short, it's cheap and I like to fight, so this is an early game build. Beebo also does a great job stacking Rampager and maintaining those stacks through casting abilities in between fights, as necessary. The damage ramp works with Burning Palm, and Burning Palm also works with Armor Shredder, which is another form of damage, so you're getting a lot of bang for your buck in the damage department. I would also recommend picking up Amplified Omnivamp and Heal Receptor with this build, to also get a lot of bang for your buck in the healing department. Now you can hopefully see where I'm going with this. The build does a lot of damage, has a lot of healing in its back pocket, and can ult to reset your mana and stay in the fight longer. You will surprise people with your turnaround potential, your 1v1 ability is crazy, and you can make plays happen with your ult all the time. This is an all-around powerful bruiser build that spikes early on and will win you some pivotal fights in the mid-game. Alright, if after all that you still aren't convinced, here are some alternative ways to make these relics work. Got Rampager but no 2-star ultimate diadem? Run Essence Reaper instead with Rabbit Paw over Chrono Gauge and focus on using your bat more in fights. Maybe you're in the late game now and Omnivamp isn't going to do enough to combat a late game Shiv. Swap out your Rampager for Isochron's Time Staff and your healing perks for Swiftness and Grace to lower the cooldown of all of your abilities and basically be playing Earth, except your Beebo. Now I've touched on my favorite relics already, but there is one more build for my selfless soldiers who crave the front lines. This build laughs in the face of Shrikes and Shivs who will grow bored hitting you because you're so tanky and evasive. For my Beefcake Brotherhood, I give you the tonkiest Beebo build around, Little Big Bow. By combining Greenwood Grasp with Rabbit Paw, we build the foundations for a drain tank that scales like no other. This works really well with Essence Reaper since it turns your health bar into damage and healing on hit. Since we are so focused on HP, it's only natural to carry around our very own heal bot in the form of Vive Infuser. This item helps to keep us from dipping too low on health in fights and escape most bad situations. If you really want to go off the deep end here, you could swap out Rabbit Paw for Titanic Bond and start pushing 4k health, but I find the extra dashes Rabbit Paw offers combined with Vive Infuser will make up for it. For build specific perks, take Heal Receptor and Adversity Engine for some nice little boosts that add up in the long haul. Make sure to play around your team so that you aren't just tanking damage for no reason and there's always someone there to follow up on your CC. And be sure to watch out for anti-heal and Burning Palm users. Otherwise, have fun always being the last alive and keeping the dream going, because this build for Beebo is really hard to kill. I could go on, but for the sake of keeping this video short and digestible, I'm going to move on to what the most important perks on Beebo are. If I missed anything, please let me know in the comments down below, and if you guys would like to see a more niche builds guide for Beebo, I've got a few ideas on how I would do that too. For now, let's talk about perks. There are basically 3 perks that I run no matter what, and those are Lockdown, Dash Engine, and Armor Shredder in order of importance. Lockdown is without a doubt the best perk on Beebo. Both your charged bat and ultimate stun enemies, and booping further with your bat will make it easier to land those stuns. The utility here is through the roof, and it makes your team fighting that much stronger. Secondly, Dash Engine is one of the best mana fixers on Beebo. You'll constantly be trying to reposition to find good flanks, angles on your bomb, or just run around the map faster, and saving a lot of mana while doing so will pay dividends. This way you won't have to drink as many pots before fights because your mana will be in a better spot most of the time, and you'll be able to escape with your dash while low on mana in the middle of a fight. Super useful perk. Lastly, Armor Shredder is just a great option for anyone planning on dealing a lot of damage, and I think it's slightly skewed towards bursty characters like Beebo, since the effect starts when you enter combat and only lasts for 2 seconds. So basically, every bomb landed as poke or comboing with your ultimate deals 1.5 times damage to armor. This will help your teammates finish kills that you can't otherwise finish on your own. For the last 2 perk spots, it's nice to slot in some package deals like Amplified Omnivamp and Heal Receptor, Grace and Swiftness, or even Recon Expert and Generative Elixirs if you're a pro and want to give yourself the edge in late game standoffs. Which, for those of you who don't know, this is a great way to apply all of the elixirs on your hunter by placing down the scanner ward and picking it up again. Kudos to Kenneth for discovering this and sharing it with the community. Other perks like Amplified Mana, Oracle Immunity, Relic Accelerator, and obviously exotics absolutely have their place in builds depending on the game. And that's why I want to just give you my big 3 with some bonus options, because those slots will fill out on their own. Anyways, that's all I have for you today. If you liked the video, consider subscribing to support the channel, stay frosty, and I'll catch you in the next one. Bye!